It's Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. This is Crime Vault. Chris Watts, Part 3. Did his family know that he was ill? Disturbed? What is the truth? A recap of information pertaining to the children on that fateful morning. Thank you for joining me.
He put her in the truck.
On the floorboards, loads up Bella and Celeste into the vehicle and drives 45 minutes or so to where the bodies were eventually found. He takes Shanann's body, still in the sheet, and throws it in a dirt pile next to the truck. And he walks over and takes Cece, Celeste's favorite blanket, and smothers her to death. Then he takes her body, takes it out of the vehicle. At this point, Bella had, I guess, unbuckled herself from the vehicle, and he went back to the vehicle, and at that point, Bella said, "Please, Daddy, do not do to me what you just did to Cece." And then he killed Bella. From what we've been told by Michael Rourke in the DA's office, and that was revealed in his sentencing hearing, there was a struggle from Bella, I believe. There were signs that she had fought for her life. And I think of the things that have been hard for the Rusicks to comprehend and to accept in this reality, what happened to Bella in those last moments have been the hardest.
When Sandy was telling you this, what was her demeanor? How painful was this for her?
Hardest thing to hear was that she wonders if in Bella's last moments, seeing as she saw her mother being wrapped up in a sheet, she saw her sister being killed, if some of her last thoughts might have been, where's Grandma, where's Grandpa? I told her, I said, this was not something that somebody could have seen coming.
The thing is, we can't see it coming because our minds don't have the capacity to go to that dark place. I mean, you can't see something you can't conceive of.
Personally, I think the worst for those girls on the drive there, it's a 45-minute drive. If he did load them onto the floorboards like we've been led to believe, obviously the question becomes, how much were Bella and Cece aware of what might have been happening in those 45 minutes on that drive to where their bodies were placed?
I've got a granddaughter and a grandson that, are just starting school and stuff, and those are the images that stick in my mind.
My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. My daddy, I love you.
And that little voice says, "Daddy, don't do to me what you did to Cece." Seriously, that's beyond psychopathology. That's just absolute, unbridled evil.
Source of the information is Dr. Phil. Hearing a child who is now deceased call her daddy a hero. Some hero he was. He was not a hero. He is a monster, a walking, talking monster. You will really never know what's the truth except for whatever the autopsy could reveal as far as manner of death and time. Did he kill the children at the house before loading them up, or did he kill them at the site? Mother already deceased, lying in the floorboard. How could anyone kill their family? Kill the mom first, allegedly, then ride the children almost an hour to their death, one by one. And imagine the horror if it happened this way. One child watching the other child murdered by the father and know she is next. I can't imagine that at any age, let alone a small person. The this person I revered, love, care for, look up to, has just murdered my mother, my sister, and now is about to murder me. You can't make this up. Thank you for joining me. Crime Vault is an extension of Everyday Shenanigans. This is part 3 pertaining to Chris Watts and the evil that he has acted on his family. Who is his family? His parents. They continue to support him. You will hear in the next audio that I'm going to play. The mother, family, father still support him. Why? Why are you still supporting a madman? You all didn't like Cheyenne for what has been said. Why not? What did this woman do to you, ma'am, Mrs. Watts, that you and the sister felt so ill towards her? It came out of your own son's mouth. You all felt like Cheyenne took him away from you all to move to Colorado. He's a grown man. He has to move on in the world. People have to make their plight in the world. People cannot stay around their family and parents for the rest of their lives. They have to make moves. They have to see what they can do in the world, be a part of the world. Everyone can't live next door to mommy and daddy. People can't grow being coddled. Did you coddle your son, ma'am, you and Mr. Watts? Is that the reason why this Build-A-Bear Teletubby you built a monster perhaps? Because nobody's ever going to tell you the whole truth of what their lives are like behind closed doors. And I got a funky feeling you and your husband built this bear. You built this monster, this machine. You possibly coddled him. You possibly taught him to have these wayward ways, emptiness, because he had to have learned to be empty from somewhere. It comes from somewhere. Everybody knows this. When you study most serial killers, there's a reason for the emptiness, be it at childhood or later in life, that led them on the path to murder people, women, men, children. And most of them were empty as children. So I'm going to ask you, Mr. and Mrs. Watts, how did you treat your child? Did you spoil him? Was he the apple of your eye? He could do no wrong. And did he learn that he was like God, perhaps? Did he have a God-like complex? He could do no wrong. He was invincible, obviously to you all, and he must have thought that of himself, to kill his wife and children. And how do you feel now knowing he snuffed out an entire family, a woman you didn't care for? So how could you care for the children? It'd be kind of hard to be nice to kids and you don't like the mama. Just saying. Is the mother a dominant woman? Who's the dominant one in the family? Father or mother or both? Did they teach their son to be an empty vessel? Or were they great parents and he just formed this identity on his own accord? What is the truth? Why did they not like this young lady? Or did the father like Cheyenne, just the mother and the sister? What was it about this woman that they did not like? Her demeanor, her attitude, her conversation? What was it? And what was their role in help possibly pushing this machine to kill them? Did they also play a role in his ear all the time, moaning and groaning and complaining about the woman, although they lived across the country? Who's to say? Who's going to tell the truth? Are they even happy that she's gone? Mourning the loss of the children, perhaps, but not the wife. Because you have to ask yourself that as well. Do they mourn the loss of the mother they did not like? What was the disdain about? Was it even hate? Will they own it after the fact? Who are these vessels that brought this spawn to life? Are they replicas as well as Chris Watts? Thank you for joining me. We're going to play some information. An interview of his mother. 9 News is the source. Cindy Watts questions son's plea deal. News 9 is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Every morning just crying, thinking this is not gonna be what's gonna happen every single day. It's just so hard to get through it. I just don't know how to get through it.
Tell me about his childhood. Did he play sports? Was he in scouts? What kinds of things did
Yes,
Did
he
you do?
played sports. He played sports from the time he was 5 years old up until he was 17. And he was in basketball, he was in baseball, he was in football, and loved NASCAR. And his dad went to NASCAR races all the time. Loved sports, And he was a good kid. Had 2 best friends, and that's who he grew up with, and still are friends with them today. And there's nothing that would have predicted any of this could have ever happened.
Yeah.
Nothing in his childhood at all. I would have never in a million years thought something like this could happen to him at all.
You didn't see things like him getting into fights? Or...
No fighting. He was quiet, and he got along with people, and he didn't start anything, and he was a perfect teenager, tell you the truth. He did not even rebel. He wanted to go to NASCAR Tech. We made that possible for him.
What did he do after he finished school?
He worked at the dealership as a service technician and was making good money and loved it. He bought a toolbox, and he started buying his tools, and enjoyed it. He was doing well.
When and where did he meet Shanann?
They met, and he liked her, she liked him, but I don't think that it was love at first sight or anything. They took a little while and I guess got to know each other and, dated. It was always a little strange that she always said a lot of things about Chris in front of me that I didn't like. Like, this isn't the kind of person I would date. He doesn't know how to do this, or he doesn't know how to do that. He looks like a skater boy. Look at his hair. Look how much stuff he puts on his hair. It was just on and on and on, and I just got a bad feeling.
And they got married in 2012. Did they get married in North Carolina?
They did. Mm-hmm.
How was that?
We didn't attend.
Really?
Wow.
We didn't attend because Shanann and I just couldn't get along, and I didn't like the way she treated him.
What do you know about their marriage and their issues?
Oh, very little. Very little. We can only observe. I could only observe what I saw when I was around them. Christopher always seemed anxious, and when she needed something, he would run. He wouldn't walk, he would run, he would get it. He just always seemed to be right there at her beck and call.
And did that seem odd to you? Or...
Very odd. It was very odd. He just seemed nervous.
So how much did you see them over these last 6 years?
Probably twice a year. We would go up there.
Did you stay with them? Or?
Yeah, we would stay with them and stay a week and then come back home.
Tell me about Bella and Celeste.
Oh, Bella was just like Chris. Just like him, shy, cautious, conservative. Cece was a ball of fire. And she was fearless, completely fearless. She just loved to run. So they were wonderful. It breaks my heart to know that they're not here. They were beautiful children, beautiful children.
What did they call you?
Mimi,
And about Ronnie, what did they call?
Papa.
Do you think Chris loves Shanann?
Oh God, he loved her. Yes, I believe he loved her at first. I believe he did. But I think as the years went on, I think it just being in that kind of a relationship, which the social worker even said that marriage should have ended a long time ago.
Shanann's pregnancy and was, what did Chris tell you about that? Was he excited?
No, I don't think he was. I think it was a shock to him. And he said that they have been talking about divorce. So that, they are not compatible anymore. And he was not happy anymore. And I finally thought, he's finally seen the light.
And I take it Chris had never been in trouble with the law.
Never. He's got one speeding ticket. You didn't even know about that.
Tell me what happened when they were reported missing. What did you find out? How did you find out? Who told you?
I think Ronnie called me. Ronnie called me and said that they're missing, and I thought, I don't believe it. I didn't believe they were missing. I believed that she was going to punish Chris. She was just going to punish him, take the girls, and just punish him. I had no idea of anything else. Christopher called and said, Mom, they're searching the house. I said, okay, that's fine. I mean, and I still was not worried. I was not worried. I just thought Shanann had run off with girls.
So,
What if you were in charge of your child's education?
Sorry about that. Have to have their commercials.
through the sequence of events over the next few days, did you and your husband travel to Colorado?
Ronnie did.
Okay.
Ronnie did. And I mean, Christopher let everybody come in. Her phone is there. Her purse is there. Everything is there. But there's no kids and there's no Shanann. And I was not worried. You know, I thought she has just gone off and I'm going to punish you for this and you can worry about me. But when Christopher called us and he said, I said, do you want us to come down now? He said, tell Dad I need him. Tell Dad I need him to come down. I said, what about me? He said, no, Mom, just stay. Just send Dad. And he picked him up at the airport and they drove to the police station. And Chris still didn't say anything to him. Nothing. He had already been interrogated 7 hours prior to that. He had already let the police go into his home, search everything. He was going in for another interrogation. The next thing, after 5 hours, they called Ronnie and said that your son wants to talk to you before he tells us anything. And that's when Christopher broke down and cried and said, I'm sorry, Dad. He said, I went into a rage and I killed her after she killed Cece and Bella. And he found out where he is and then they wouldn't let him see him. He couldn't see him. And so he was going back to the airport when his public defender called him and told him to come back. So that's when Ronnie met his public defender. And so talked to her for a while. And they kept in touch with us and let us know what's going on.
And then what was the next update that you got? Was it?
The next update I got was Ronnie called Jamie and told them they found their bodies. And they rushed over here. Nobody told me anything until they walked through the door. And they told me what happened, and I just fell to the floor. I just fell to the floor. It was unbelievable. It's been unbelievable ever since. And
What did his attorneys tell you about contact with him, starting with his
None.
arrest?
no contact. Everything is recorded. No contact. No letter writing. I didn't see the harm in the letters. Hi son, love you, keep fighting. We are here to support you. What is wrong with that? What can the DA do about letters like this? Why couldn't we just write him a letter? We did what we were told to do. When they called us to tell us that Chris was thinking of a plea, that he wanted to speak to us about it. And when we got down there, it was a lie. They wouldn't let us talk to him about anything. And then we had to talk to him through a screen and a phone. And he just looked, he was crying. I mean, he wasn't crying. You could see the movement in his mouth that when I talked about Bella and I talked about Cece and the memorial service that we had for them. And he asked what pictures did we use and, what was the song. You can see how he was trying to hold back tears.
What day was that? Do you remember?
Well, we flew in on that Monday. We flew in on Monday and we saw him Monday night. And then the plea deal was on Tuesday.
So Monday night was when you wanted to talk to him.
Yes, and we weren't allowed. And it would have helped us so much to be able to talk to him. I wouldn't have to go through all this now. Everything just seems to be shrouded in secrecy. And just tell us what is going on. And let us ask Chris if it's okay if you talk to us. I just don't like the way it was handled from the very beginning. I don't like the way it was handled. I want to save your life. That's all. We're just here. We're going to save his life. We want him to get life in prison. It was like they already knew he was guilty. And this was the end of it.
Were you worried about the death penalty being a possibility?
No, I didn't care about the death penalty. Nobody's going to die in Colorado. I don't think anyone has. One person? Colorado is changing. So people stay on death row forever. There was I think you'd be safer on death row. And her parents said they didn't want any more death.
Do you want to know a secret? I'm a fact that
Very interesting information coming from this bio donor. Very interesting. Thank you for joining me. This is Crime Vault.
They didn't want any more death. So I don't see how the death penalty could have mattered. All I want is the truth. I just want the truth. That's it. And I know Chris would take responsibility. And I guess maybe he is. I don't know. I just can't see him doing that.
What do you think the truth is about how Shanann and Bella and Celeste died?
Oh God, I don't know anymore. Honestly, I don't know his frame of mind, and I don't know his frame of mind, because why would you plead guilty to something you didn't do? And that's all I want to know. Why would you?
Because he did it, Dodo Bird.
If you told your dad you didn't do it, and that's what I want to know. And they said, well, you'll find all that out. Christopher will talk to you when and after he's sentenced. Well, isn't that too late then? And is it too late? What if he tells me, no, I didn't do it? I just took this plea deal because they told me I was gonna go to jail anyway. I just want the truth. All of us just want the truth. That's all. But I would like to know what triggered it. How can a normal young man, and he's normal. He was normal, but he wasn't evaluated when he came into the system. He wasn't normal if he did this.
Must be bewildering.
It's bewildering to me. It is. It is absolutely. How does this happen? How did this happen? And I go back in my mind thinking, was there something I didn't pick up with on Chris? But I can't think of anything except he was quiet.
It sounds like in your own mind, you're unsure as to what happened.
Yes.
Have you reconciled the idea that he could have done all of this?
Yes.
Yeah. And that scares me to death. It scares me to death to think that he could have done all of this. And I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there right now. But I don't see why he's pleading guilty. I wouldn't.
Gosh.
I'd fight. I'd fight to the end. But then you ask yourself, would a normal person dispose of the bodies the way he did? And I would have called 911 if it happened like that.
What would you say to Chris
Oh, my
right now
God.
if he were sitting here?
I'm about to scream.
If we were by ourselves,
Yeah.
I would say, Christopher, I need to know what happened that night. I need to know what happened. I've got to get these thoughts out of my head. What I think
Yes, Christine.
could have happened.
Yes,
But I need
Mary.
to know.
Yes, I agree with all of you.
And I think in time he will tell me.
Probably nothing you ever would have
Unbelievable
imagined
is
you
what
would
they
have faced.
Never. No, and not from the son that I raised and Ronnie raised and our children, we just did everything for them. We worked for them. And we wanted them to have a good life, good education, and we stressed education. And they were both doing well. I thought, I knew marriages can be bad, but you can get out of them and go on.
Exactly, but he didn't.
But I don't know what was going through anybody's mind that night. I mean, I feel too much. I definitely feel everything way too much and have a conscience that I just feel way too much.
What do you want to happen now? What would you hope would happen now?
Well, I want Chris to have his day in court. I mean, I need to know. I'd feel wonderful if I could talk to him and he could tell me what happened. And then we can all go on. But if he didn't do it, if he did not do this, then I need somebody to defend him. I need someone to defend him if he did not do this. Do they have the evidence? He's my son. I got to do everything. I've got to do everything I can to help, to make sure that he is defended properly. But he said this was his decision, so I don't know. There's doubt. I have doubt that he did. I can't see that he did it. I just cannot see him doing that as much as he loved his girls. How do you do that?
Well, he didn't
I
love
just
them.
don't see it. I just can't see him doing it.
Sorry about that.
Yes. I just wanted a defense.
Amber
I
alert.
wanted him to be defended.
And you haven't had any discussions with his attorneys about this?
No. I asked them, do you know what happened? They said, no. We don't. Only person that knows what happened is Chris.
Exactly.
Well, then he's told you his story, in the affidavit. They said they would defend him if he wanted to go forward, but he said he didn't want to go forward.
And the bottom line is you would have liked to have been part of that discussion with
I
him before
would
you
have.
made that decision.
That's what I thought we were going down there for. At least let us talk to him. Let us talk to him. It would have made all the difference in the world
I don't
if
think
they would
so.
have just let us talk to him.
Hello,
If
everybody.
he was
Thank
going
you.
to do this, what difference does it make who's listening? But he has our love. He has our unconditional love. I will never abandon my son. He did a horrible, if that comes to pass that he did this, then
He did this.
I still love him. He's my son.
Wow.
And I will always love him. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I don't understand that, why they don't.
Well, could you talk a little bit about some things we talked about yesterday? You said, I think your exact words were, he's not the psychopath next
He
door.
isn't. He's not the sociopath next door. He's not the psychopath. He didn't kill little small animals. He didn't do any of these things. He was a good child. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything that was abnormal about him, except he was socially awkward. He had trouble socializing, but so did I when I was younger. I think you learn that as you grow, and I think he felt a little bit more comfortable in his skin, and he just I don't think he just had the right person at his side.
Wow.
I don't. That relationship was toxic from the very beginning.
What would you say to Shanann's family if you talked to them?
God, I'm so sorry this happened. For both our families, because we both lost everything. They lost a daughter, we lost our son, we lost our grandchildren. We all lost. Everybody did. And you'll never get it back. And they were precious. They were so, so precious.
9 News is the source. Thank you for joining me. This is Crime Vault. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Cindy Watts, you're a piece of work. You are the reason Chris Watts came to be. It is obvious from listening to this interview. You are just as devoid and numb as your damn son. And I'm going to say that because it's obvious. I'm going to give you my brief commentary, then I will go on to the next audio of takes between Chris Watts, his mom, sister, dad inside of the prison. Thank you for joining me. I do find it interesting that they didn't want them to talk. So she flew there to Colorado, assuming she would get ready to see her son. Thought they were going to talk about a plea or whatever he didn't do. But for some reason, law enforcement didn't want him talking, which I don't know if that's appropriate to not let a person speak to their family, because everyone has rights to be able to talk. So there's got to be some reason why they didn't want to let him speak to his family. I find it interesting that she talks about Cheyenne, basically nitpicking him to her, which everybody knows is not good to talk to people's families about them. We know this because no one's going to take it well when you are speaking ill of a person, negative about a person. Now, some people may be in agreement if they want to go ahead and own that, yes, he or she is this way, that way, but it's usually best you don't speak to a person's mother about them, especially behind their back. So we have to ask ourselves the dynamic of that. In front of his mother, she's nitpicking, talking bad about the son or complaining about him. But then on social media, she's uplifting him. So one could say it's contradictory. Why do it in public? Be nice about him, but behind closed doors with the mother, she's nitpicking. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know her. Is this what drove this man to kill her? He was tired, exhausted. He felt picked on by her. Nothing he did was good enough for her. He found comfort in another woman, then boom, I want out. Here's my way out. Nicole's my savior, the Calvary. This is my way to move on. But then that makes no sense about the girls, because wife nitpicking, dominant, demanding, what do the children have to do with it? They're children. And as you hear the mother say here, they were beautiful kids, beautiful children. So why kill the children? So see, in the end, it doesn't even matter who Cheyenne was to him, to her, his father, his sister, whomever. You still killed those kids. And that speaks volumes of really the reasoning behind the demise of Cheyenne, 2 girls, and the fetus inside of her womb. He wanted out. He wanted all the way out. She basically goes on to say it was not love at first sight. So there, she's still being negative pertaining to her son and Cheyenne. Goes there 2 times a year to visit them. Didn't go to the wedding. Why not? Mr. Reporter, why didn't you ask her that? This is an interview where people are curious to know about the family, and you leave that open. Why not ask her, ma'am, why didn't you go to the wedding? Don't you find this strange? See, this lets you know there was an underlying issue with everybody. Mama don't like her. Daddy don't like her. Sister don't like her. Damn, how many more relatives in North Carolina didn't like Cheyenne? Get married and the damn groom's parents aren't there. Don't you think that would look bad at a wedding? Hey, where are the groom's people? Where are they? But obviously he loved her anyway. And she goes on to tell you in this interview that yes, he loved her. And then she stutters and then says, oh, at first. At first. Why did they not go to the wedding? Why didn't the father go? If it's just an issue between the mother and the sister with Cheyenne, why not the father go? Represent the family. He too had an issue with her, or he just followed his wife's lead, such as Chris following Cheyenne's lead. Stay woke. So really, who is the dominant one in the family? Miss Cindy or Mr. Watts? Pay attention. She spoke well of the girls in this interview, saying that they were beautiful children. As I said, he loved her at first, but then as time went on, being in that relationship, but yet you couldn't tell what the relationship was because the reporter asked you here, well, tell me something about the relationship. Well, I don't really know. But then she goes on to say a social worker said he should have left a long time ago. Well, who was the social worker? Was she somebody he was seeing, somebody he was getting counsel from, or somebody you went to and or a random stranger you heard talking about the case on TV? Because if you didn't know anything about the relationship, a stranger didn't know anything about the relationship. Really, all you all had to go on was Facebook posts from Cheyenne Watts. How about that? That's all you all had to clue you in on who these people were and what was going on between them. Appearance of a happy family, but not so. But yet you didn't like her. But you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know what was going on because you all decided to stay out of their way. You weren't as close. Once your son took off with her, made children, you stayed on one side of the coast, they stayed on the other. And you didn't blend, which is sad. Because you all should have been talking, Skyping, and enjoying each other's company and trying to make it be. But sometimes you can't, because when people decide that they don't like people for whatever reason, they hold that fort and they don't let go of what ill will they have toward another human being. And it's sad for all of you and sad for the children, because now look at the end result. Mom and children are dead, and the son is now incarcerated and not coming out until his own demise. He told his mom that he and Cheyenne talked of a divorce. So why didn't he divorce her? How about that? Why didn't he divorce her, and why didn't she divorce him? But we believe that Cheyenne tried to hold on to this relationship. So that's the reason why she probably didn't. He only had one speeding ticket his whole life, no criminal background. She believes that Cheyenne was trying to punish him when this all started and she went missing with the children. Think about those words. I thought she was trying to punish him. So that means you've been hearing he said, she said about her from your son. You had to. Because who would come up with that type of analogy of a woman missing with her children, and then you later find out she left her purse on her phone, but it didn't dawn on you she would need her phone and her wallet to punish her husband by taking her children? Think about what you're saying now. Oh, I thought she was just punishing him by taking off with the kids. But yet she'd leave her phone and her purse. Lady, you are not very bright. See, even in this interview, you're showing you have contempt for now a dead woman. The dad went out to Colorado. Why not the mother? Reporter, you left that open. You should have asked, ma'am, why'd you stay behind? But she later goes on to say that Chris told the father, I need you, not mom, because mom asked him, why not me? No, I prefer dad. Why dad? Is it because the mother is the dominant force in the family, and he knew that if she got out there, she'd start going on and on and on about Cheyenne and who she was as a person, and I knew this day would come, and she's this, and this. Because you're basically doing it in this interview in a subtle way. You knew it wasn't going to work. Social worker said it wasn't going to work. So you would have done that then. While she's lying in an oil rig, she and her children, she's buried and the children in an oil rig, you would have went on and on and on about who Cheyenne was and why he should have never married her, dated her, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure he didn't want to hear that under the circumstances because it wouldn't have helped when he knew all along he's the reason that they're missing. Tell dad I need him. Very interesting. He told the family he went into a rage. He killed his wife because she killed the kids. They told the family that they couldn't write letters to him. Why not? Why couldn't the family write letters to Chris Watts while incarcerated? I find that interesting. Is it because, as she said, everything's recorded and they don't want to be reading long-winded letters of this, that, and the other? She also goes on to let you know she supports her son, loves her son, will always support him. Why? And then she had the nerve to say in this interview, I can't understand why somebody can't understand why we love him. Well, because we're entitled to our opinion. That's why, Cindy. We know that people love people when they've done wrong. That you just don't stop loving people because they committed a crime or they lied, they stole. But murder is just a little bit different than putting your hand in a cookie jar or stealing money out of the Girl Scout cookie fund. How about that? You snuffed out whole damn family. So one could question you, how can you reason with that? And you basically tell it in this interview. You can't understand why he took the plea if he's innocent. Well, listen at this part right here. He doesn't want to let the world know that he killed the whole family. He just wants to own that he killed the wife because she was mainly the problem. The children were just casualties of war, plural. She was the main line, but I got to knock them off too because, hell, I ain't trying to be obligated with even them damn kids that I so-called love. So in the end, he didn't love Cheyenne and he didn't love the kids because he's an empty vessel. He's a sociopath. The sociopath that you say you didn't breed, you didn't see the signs. He was quiet, socially awkward, but no signs. Oh, the signs were always there. Because listening to you speak in this interview lets me know that the signs were always there. You and Mr. Watts spawned this demon. And the fact that you're so nonchalant about a dead woman, but praising the children who are dead, you're showing us that you also help aid fire in this man's mind about his wife and children. As my mother used to say growing up, you killed two birds with one stone. That's right, and that's what he did. I ain't gonna just knock off one, I'm gonna knock them all off. I wanna be free and clear. Does Laci Peterson come to mind? Anybody? Stay woke. No contact with the family, no letters. She basically says they act like they knew he was guilty. Well, they didn't know he was guilty, ma'am, because they watched the video of him backing his truck in, leaving out, and nobody else coming and going. So how did the wife and kids get out of the house? How did somebody get in the house to get them? And then he goes on to confess. And you're still saying you're questioning evidence, no court hearing, because he didn't want it, because he knew he was guilty. He didn't have to confess, but they knew he did something. So even if they never found the bodies and he never confessed to putting them where he put them, they knew he was behind their deaths, ma'am. They knew he was having an affair because Sugar Mama went and told on him to the police department. And you're sitting here 3 years ago in this interview acting just as crazy as your son. So as someone said in the chat, the apple does not fall far from the tree at all. I just want the truth. I want the truth. I just want him to tell me he didn't do it. He didn't do it. That's why he hasn't talked to you, because he knows he did it. He confessed he did it. He's trying to deny killing the wife, but we all know he killed that woman. That woman didn't kill those kids because, as you said, a normal person would have called 911, but he did not. Why not? Hey, my wife just killed my kids. Please hurry. Please hurry before I do something to her. I want her out of this house. Why it didn't go like that? Because we know that's not how it went. Because as I said, he didn't want to be bothered with the wife or the children. The same kids you say he loved. Her family didn't want any more death. And the way you talked about the death penalty was very bizarre in this commentary, but really not so, because it shows us who you are, Miss Cindy Watts. You said they haven't had a death in a long time in the state of Colorado. You knew that they wouldn't put him to death, so you weren't worried about that. How interesting. You seem awfully cocky to have a son that's murdered his whole damn family and act like it's nothing. Oh, they weren't going to put him to death. They haven't done it in a long time. I wasn't worried about that. I was just wanting the truth. I just wanted him to tell me the truth, what he did. Do you hear yourself? You should play this back, Miss Cindy Watts. You sound like a fool. They ain't killed nobody in a long time. So I wasn't worried about them killing my son. He was safer on death row anyway. You mean being locked down 23 hours a day and only let out 1 hour? That's sounds great to you? Because my thing is, incarcerating as bad as it is, who the hell wants to be locked down 23 hours a day? Can't talk to anybody, can't conversate. And you think that would be a great life for your son. And the fact that you said it'd be safer, that means you knew that he would probably have problems in there. He would be a hated man in the penitentiary. See, really, your words are contradictory. You knew it wasn't safe for him in there because you've probably heard the rumors and the nasty comments about your spawn, that he's a dirty MF for killing his wife and children. And he didn't do nothing but spend lies and lies and lies in that interrogation room. And you know that. And you still won't own the fact that he killed all of them. Not just the wife, but he smothered those babies and threw them down that oil rig and stuffed them down that damn hole. And you don't want to own it. I just can't see it. Not the child I raised, and he was so normal and this, that, and the other. Well, he ain't normal. He came from your belly and he ain't normal. Cindy Watts, how about that? What did you know about your son? He was socially awkward, quiet, but I got a feeling you saw more to it. The fact that you said he wasn't a sociopath, psychopath like serial killers, he wasn't cutting up animals. What is your damn point? He snuffed out a whole family. I say he and some serial killers are equal. How about that? Minus the cutting up of animals. And yes, the family didn't want him to be put to death. Cheyenne's family, allegedly. How noble of them. Because it takes a noble mind to not want an eye for an eye. I don't know his frame of mind. Why plead guilty? This lady sounds ridiculous. What would trigger that? What would trigger someone to do this? He was so quiet. Why not call 911? He didn't call 911, Cindy, because he wanted to move on without Cheyenne and the girls. And that's why he didn't call 911. And I think you know this, and you refuse to own this, and you're talking around in circles about wanting the truth, and his lawyer didn't know anything, his lawyers didn't know anything, they don't know what happened, only he knows what happens. So that should let you know that they don't even believe their own client's version. Because they could say, yeah, we know what happened, but we are not at liberty to tell you because of confidentiality. Because he lied in the beginning. I didn't hurt my family. I never cheated on my wife. That was the beginning of the interrogation. And then when they started throwing out little hints of this and that, he started changing his version. Then he admits to meeting someone. Then he admits, oh yeah, I killed the wife, but not the kids. Wrong. You killed all of them. You wanted a clean slate. You wanted a new life with this chick. You were enamored with this chick, and she was your way out of having to deal with the life, the boring life, stressful life you had with Cheyenne. You wanted out. And you can't even say now that the children weren't a part of the stress, because why would you kill them? And as that man said in that commentary I played yesterday, he goes on to say she was a great gal, his wife. And then Nicole, she was a great gal. He's repeating himself because he's a robot. She was a great gal, but you killed that great gal. You know, how can somebody be wonderful and nice, but yet they're dead by your hands? And as I've told you all, he would have done the same to Nicole. He would have found something wrong with her. She would have found something wrong with him. Something would have popped off between the two. He would have became distant, nonchalant. He would have stopped talking, stopped texting. He would have done the same thing he did to Cheyenne. Old habits die hard. Everybody knows that. That's the reason why most relationships don't work, because people take the same habits to the next relationship. They may not murder people, but they take the same nonchalant ways. If a man is known to fall off the earth when he's tired of a woman or frustrated, when he gets in the next relationship, he'll possibly do the same, because that's all he knows. Same thing with a woman. Creature of habit. Cindy Watts is oblivious to the fact that her son killed his family. And I believe your ranting and raving, you and your daughter, to him also help aid the fury inside of him. He was a coward. He didn't want the world to know that he had a failed relationship. And the fact that his wife posted to social media a lot, he knew what people would think. Oh, wow, that happy couple, look what happened. Why them? What went wrong? He didn't want to have to answer questions. He's a socially awkward guy at one time, very quiet. Well, he's possibly the same. He doesn't want to have to answer to anyone. What happened? Why are you all divorcing? Why are you separating? Who's going to get the kids? Blah, blah, blah. He doesn't like to talk, so you know he's not going to want to answer questions. He took the coward's way out. All he had to do was just tell his wife the truth. I'm no longer happy. I will continue to be a father to the girls, but I don't want to be with you anymore. But he knew he would be obligated because he had children. And then she's pregnant with baby number 3. So he was in a bad situation, especially if you have checked out mentally, physically, and now somebody's telling you they're pregnant with baby number 3. And how horrible would that be to be carrying an infant? A fetus rather, and your husband no longer wants you. And now you got to walk around with 2 children in tow with a baby in your belly, and your husband has left you for another woman. She would have been devastated. Worse off. Children would have been worse, watching their mommy depressed every day. And he would have been worried about what the hell other people think. Because 9 times out of 10, he's worried his entire life what other people think. He's a crybaby. He was a shell, an empty shell. A very empty shell. Thank you for joining me. 9 News is the source of this information. We're going to play you a little bit of takes between the parents, family, and Chris Watts. It's winded. I'll just brush through some of the commentary. You're entitled to come to your own conclusion about his family and their dedication to a monster. As you heard in this commentary with 9 News, she does not feel that her son is a psychopath or a sociopath. He is not the sociopath next door, but indeed, he was the sociopath next door. He was a walking time bomb, and he finally went off. And if it wasn't with the family, it could have been with somebody else, co-worker, job, because he shows that he is not well equipped to deal with emotions. His ideology to check out of relationships is to kill people. See, you all didn't even think about that. Most mass murderers were quiet. Stay woke. Most children who went on killing sprees in schools were quiet, picked on, bullied, socially awkward. So had he not killed his family, he could also be the same guy that would have went into a gym and blew everybody's damn head off. He's that guy. So Cindy Watts, you are oblivious and in denial. And now, listening to your commentary, I believe you saw signs, you and your husband, that something was off with your son, and you all coddled him to be this monster he is today. This pathological liar, baby killer, wife killer, adulterer. He's a misfit and he's a menace. Watts Family Tapes 2020. Prison visit with the Colorado killer. Thank you for joining me. One second. Thank you all so much for joining me.
Bluetooth connected.
We love you so much, and we will never, ever, ever abandon you. Do you hear me?
Thank you.
I just wanted to see you and give you a hug.
Soon you'll be able to.
I know, honey. Oh, I got this. I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. There's something in it, but I can't see what it is, but.
It's me and you.
Oh, okay.
And it has a saying on the back of it. A mother's love. You mean so much to us, Princess. This isn't what I wanted for you.
This isn't what I wanted either, trust me.
I know, hon. I don't know what happened, but I will never, ever stop loving you. Never.
Never stop loving you guys either, trust me.
Is there anything we
He doesn't even know what love is.
Just your love and support is all I need.
Honey, you've got that. You've got that.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of good letters from people, just like people of support. So.
Oh, honey, you don't know how much support you had out here. So many people supported you.
Past
so
tense.
many still support you. And I wish I could ask you more. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Just not now.
No. No. But this is what you want?
Yeah, this is my decision. This is what I'm gonna do. And this nightmare has to be over for everybody.
No. You have to remember we're strong.
I know. This is my decision though.
But don't ever confess to something you didn't do.
I know, but this is my decision though. This is all me, okay?
See, as you see, here in this commentary, they're in a jail talking on the phone through glass. This is evident that Cindy was probably just as dominant as Cheyenne. Let's keep it 100. The man has confessed to killing the children, killing the wife, and yet you're still saying, is this your decision? Maybe one day you'll tell me the truth. He says, not now. You don't get it. You know damn well that lady didn't bury herself out there at his job site, and nor did those children climb their little cells up the ladder and climb into a hole. So who the hell you think put them out there? Mickey Mouse? He works out there, and yet they're buried out there. And his job is in the middle of nowhere in the damn desert, and you're steady asking, tell me the truth. You shouldn't confess to something you didn't do. And then you're sitting here having the nerve to tell a reporter he's not the psychopath next door. I didn't raise a psychopath. He didn't cut up little animals. But yet he's sitting here before you telling you, this is my decision, and that's it. You are the reason Chris is the way he is. Because the way you're behaving in this commentary through a phone, the way you talk to that reporter shows you and your husband help aid this baby monster that grew up to be a grown monster. And you'll probably never own that either. Thank you for joining me. This is Crime Vault. Chris Watts, the family.
I want you, if this is your decision, then you get in there and you make something. Your story's not over. It's just another beginning of something else, Chris. But your story does not end here. It doesn't end here. You are made for something else, and I don't know what it is yet, but you are someone that I always felt that you had a pure heart, a good soul. No one could ever say anything bad about you. You were the kindest person there ever was. You were my smart kid. I mean, you were my... Lord, you never even rebelled. You were perfect.
He did.
You were a perfect kid.
He did rebel. He killed his wife and kids. That was his rebellion.
Everything you did you were so conscientious. You are so conscientious.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
And we will be there tomorrow. We will all be there tomorrow. Me, Jamie, and Dad.
This lady's sick.
I just want you to just make sure, like, I think Andy told me he felt guilty for going out to eat the other night. I want you guys to, to still feel like you can live a normal life too,
Well, I know, this, and we will. For you, I'll do that. For you, I will do that.
Because, there's still going to be, anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, I want you guys to still live like it was, like this wasn't going on, okay?
Yes, Alf.
Okay.
I agree. She's the
I
same.
just wish you would have talked to us more.
I know.
But you are so loved. There's no doubt about that. Your family is here for you. We will always be here for you, and you know that.
I know.
Your life is not over. It is not over. And you better stay strong, because I have got to stay strong. Okay? I have got to stay strong, because this is we all will get through this together.
Okay.
You, me, Ronnie, Jamie, all of us will get through this together, because we love you so much.
I love you too.
I don't care what you did. I love you so much.
Right there, bingo card. I don't care what you did. I love you so much. Yes, Mary, that is why he is who he is. You see, that's why you have to listen to people talk. My daddy told me that once as a young woman. Sometimes it's best to listen. Don't say anything. Don't respond. Don't say nothing. Just let a person talk. he or she will eventually tell on himself, herself. And in this commentary, alongside the interview with News 9, Cindy Watts, has told on herself. She's basically told us how the monster came to be, that came from her womb. To sit here and tell your son in a recorded conversation in the jail that I don't care what you did, I still love you. What is that to say to someone that just snuffed out their whole family? I don't care what you did, I love you anyway. We're going to support you anyway. I don't care what you did. So to sit up and tell somebody that the children are beautiful, were beautiful. He loved his children. He loved his wife at one time, but something went wrong. Surprised it lasted as long as it did. As I said, you are also a part of the problem. You are a part of the problem, Cindy Watts, possibly your husband too, because we have to include everybody that rode the ride. You always saw signs that something wasn't right with your son. And 9 times out of 10, when he became an adult, he was still socially awkward. And you all felt like she was not good enough for him. Those are his own words. And I'd like to know, what was it about her that wasn't good enough? What was it about Cheyenne that was not good enough for this monster here? This socially awkward, non-talking Teletubby. Because deep inside, he probably still felt fat. You've heard that before. People lose weight, but they still have a fat person's mentality, a fat person's thought process. Still don't feel like they are good enough. They don't feel like they measure up, even in their smaller body. They're still looking in the mirror and seeing a fat person. Stay woke. And you all coddled him and spoiled him to where he became numb at some point in life, either as a child or teenager. And he grew up to be this vessel, pretending to want more out of life, quiet, mild-mannered, meek, mannerable, but he was not. And the fact that you said in this commentary in a jailhouse conversation, you're still conscientious. How the hell is he conscientious and he snuffed out his whole damn family and lied over and over again to authorities about what the hell he did with his wife and kids? Do you hear yourself, Cindy Watts? You're a damn fool too. And he's sitting here now whimpering, talking to her. You got to go on with your life. Do things that you were normally doing. Don't feel guilty to go out to eat. Hell yeah, they got to eat. They got to eat. They got to bathe. They still got to do stuff. Because that's the whole point. Things don't stop because somebody murdered somebody. Somebody passed away. Somebody's sick in the hospital, nursing home. You still have to live, eat, breathe. And I think it's time you tell your mother the truth, Chris, that you killed all of them. And that possibly your mother and father are the reasons that you are who you are today. Even though you are grown and knew better, but they helped aid you to be this monster as well.
I'm going to give us all your photos back and your trophies.
Okay.
And we've got all your jerseys.
Okay.
And gosh, some of them still have tags on them.
I know there was
And she's smiling during this
one
interview.
jersey that I wore a lot. It was
Very sick.
It was the Ryan Shazier jersey.
Uh-huh.
And I just wore that one a lot because he got injured. I think not this past the season beforehand. He had a neck injury and he didn't think he'd have to walk again. So I wore that jersey a lot. And he's walking now, so it's definitely like a big comeback. But I wore that jersey a lot. That's why like some of the other ones still had tags on them.
Will you tell Jamie that name because I'll forget it.
Oh, okay.
Tell Jamie that name so she'll see it. When we, Frank brought some items back.
Do you have any pictures from the house or anything, or no?
Pictures from your house?
Yeah, I didn't know if you had any from there or not.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
She's sick.
Give us anything like that.
Cindy Watts, very
Just
sick.
brought your jerseys back and let's see, and I think there were still some trophies there.
Yeah.
And but there's still quite a few things that,
Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
that I'm sure is probably still at the house or something.
Gotcha.
I was gonna, I don't know about all much ashes.
Yeah, I think that, I
don't
mean,
think I could find them.
if the urn's still in there, it's on the dresser in the bedroom.
Well, maybe I can swing by there. I don't know. Whatever we're able to get from that toolbox, we're gonna put it aside to come visit you, and you know, just where there's a will, there's a way, and we're gonna figure it out.
You just use it for whatever you need. Trust me.
No, it's.
Let me stop right here. What is there to take from the house of value? Think about what just think about this for a second. This man has killed the entire family. The only thing I can see you taking from the house at that time would be, yes, whatever trophies he had from high school, college, whatever. But other than that, what else? Pictures. Why the hell would you want pictures? He killed them. So you mean pictures of him? So if he's in the pictures with the wife and kids, what are you gonna do? Cut them out? Because how stupid would that look to have pictures hanging up in your house of a man that killed his damn family? I want you all to really listen to what these dodo birds are saying in this conversation. Why in the world would anybody want any pictures? Because they're gonna have most of them with the whole family in them. I could see her family wanting pictures of her and the children, but they ain't gonna want pictures with him in them, vice versa. Why would you all want pictures of him and the kids and her, and they're dead and he killed them? This, Lord have mercy. Somebody please help me. I'm drowning.
If that's what I need to see my son. I need to see my son.
I mean, you can like the toolbox, and like if the snow blower's still in there, you can do that too. I mean, I've barely even used it, honestly.
Snow blower.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It's still in the garage because that thing's too heavy to move anyways.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I can see you packing that on an
I don't
airplane.
know what's in there or what isn't. I don't know if Frank and them took it home.
I know that. Well, just whatever's in there.
No. None of that stuff matters to me.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that you're okay and that you are going to make this work.
Yes, Alf.
Okay.
And whatever else you need. I mean, you just tell me. We will get it. We'll get it to you. Christopher, we support you 100%.
We
I
support
don't care
you.
what happens. You know, if you ever want.
Once again, we will help you get whatever you need. Well, he can't have a PlayStation, ma'am. He can't have certain things in prison, ma'am. Sorry, you can't go to Ruth Chris and get him a nice steak and baked potato, ma'am, and a glass of nice red wine, ma'am. Are you all hearing this, heifer? Whatever you need, we'll get it. Sitting here talking about a stupid snowblower. Well, North Carolina don't get snow like Colorado. How about that? And once again, you hear her say, I don't care what you did. I don't care what you did. So you basically saying you never cared for this lady he was married to, Cheyenne. And you really don't care that he killed her and the children. They were a package deal, the children and the mother. She was his wife. He was their father. You're sitting here with an incarcerated son who's never going to get out of there alive and say, I don't care what you did. And now you said it 2 times during this conversation. I'm still supporting you. I still love you. We're still going to help you. We're still going to get you whatever you need. But yet he's incarcerated. You're talking about people writing him. He has support out there. You're acting as if he wrecked a few cars on the side of the road. A little more serious than that, Cindy Watts. Way more serious than hitting parked cars.
Never want to tell us fine, but right now I just want you to be okay. Christopher, you look really good.
Thank you. You
You
too.
do. You look really, really good. Oh my goodness. The service on Sunday, oh my gosh, it was so pretty. Everything was decorated so nicely for Halloween, and we had crosses made for each of them. And I had bought a CD player at Walmart, and and they put the CD in, and it kept skipping and it kept skipping and it kept skipping. And so they sang the song without the CD. And then the second CD they put in, it was skipping and skipping and skipping. And Monica said, okay, that's little Cece.
Yeah, the CD is skipping because the devil is circling around. Somebody was trying to tell you something, Cindy, that this was not it. You all were not the ones to be holding the service for the children. You weren't listening. You weren't listening to the universe. The CD was skipping because you look crazy holding services for your children, grandchildren, and your son is the reason that they're dead. Stay woke. This is macabre at best. It's bad enough he killed the wife and children and an unborn child. You're sitting here talking about Halloween, festivities, music playing, crosses for the children. Just think about this for a second now. Oh, we had crosses for them, but yet your spawn killed the kids that you're now holding these services for. And you're talking about it as if it's a christening or something, and the children are alive. Because if I didn't know what I was listening to, I'd be waiting for somebody to start talking about the children in present tense. Stay woke. This is asinine here. Sweet Jesus. This is asinine. You would think this would be commentary coming from Cheyenne's parents, saying they had a beautiful service for the children. Not this side of the coin. The suspect's family having service.
Okay, that's little Cece. She is over there messing with that CD right this minute. And then an eagle flew over the gravesite. And it was, yeah, and it was, and the pictures that we took, they were, they had a ray of sunshine in each picture of all of them. And it was a nice service. Everyone attended, and everyone sends their love. Mike, Joey, Keith, Juana, Debbie, Linda, Christina. All of them send their love to you, Chris. Please, just stay strong. Promise me. Promise me. I can't lose you.
I won't do anything like that.
No.
Oh no, he's not gonna kill himself.
What pictures did you choose for the service?
Oh, remember when we were at the splash pad in Colorado? The one where Cece just turned around and I got a really good close-up picture of her, and I used that. And then the one with Bella at the splash pad where she was wrapped up in the blanket, and she looked so peaceful, so solemn, just serious, just like you. She was.
I have to stop right here. I'm about to throw up. This is ridiculous to me. This is ridiculous to me. There are no words to describe what I'm playing right now. He's grinning and skinning at what she's saying of the pictures and has the audacity to ask what pictures. What do you care which pictures she used? You killed those kids. You killed your kids and lied and said the mother did it because you didn't want people to believe that you were the type of individual that would kill the children. And you're sitting here grinning at her describing the pictures she used for the services and grinning about an eagle flying over and a CD skipping. Are you all listening to this bullshit? I live to be 51. I can't get no more amazed at people with 2 feet. Each day, the stories get worse and worse. The private conversations, the recordings, the text messages, the messages. This is ridiculous. And I agree with you in the chat, talking to him like a child because that is how you treated Chris Watts. Meddling probably with the relationship to where he was glad probably to get away. And no matter what went on between he and Cheyenne, it's principle. He had no right to kill her. I don't care if she was demanding, if she was a nitpicker, she was a complainer behind closed doors, he could have left. And to sit here and know that he killed those babies, suffocated them, put them down in that damn rig and squeeze their little bodies in between what was described as round as a paper plate. He squished them babies down in there, and you're sitting here talking about pictures and CDs, and he's skinning and grinning, knowing he killed his own damn babies. And you can't believe he did it. Sweet Jesus, give me strength.
It's like you. You know, she was just you.
Yeah.
She was you. She was you. And there's so many people out there that love you and pray for you. And they know what kind of man you are. Everybody knows what kind of man
What kind of man was he?
So
They know how he was.
I'll stay strong, trust me.
It's a joke.
you better stay strong. And we're going to be there tomorrow
Okay.
to support you.
Thank
And would
you.
you like us, how about on the 19th? Can we come on the 19th?
That's totally up to you if you want to.
Okay. That's going to be a tough day.
That day's gonna be really rough.
Yeah.
Like like tomorrow's gonna be like more short, but that day's gonna be very long.
We'll be here. We'll be here for you. Okay?
Okay.
I know. I just want to sit here and look at you.
That's for me, the bracelet, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got one too.
That's good.
Yes, Kinsley.
You and your dad are so much alike.
Relationship is very,
So much
very
like-
sick.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Chris. Gosh, it's so good to see you. Okay, yes. Yes, on the 19th. Absolutely. I want to be there to support you.
Thank you.
Okay?
That's the week of Thanksgiving. Just remember that.
The 19th is
The week of it. I think it's on a Monday though, right? Yeah, it's on a Monday.
on a Monday.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to do this by yourself.
No. It mean a lot. It's gonna be a long day that day.
I know it will be.
Compared to tomorrow, it's just gonna be like, 30 minutes maybe at the max, and then we'll be done. But yeah, that day is gonna be long.
How long?
I don't know. It just kind of depends. Just depends.
Well, you'll get through it. We all will get through it together. Your team, your mom, me, your dad, Jamie. I don't know if Jamie will be there, but we will definitely be there.
Okay.
People out there they know who you are. And they know what kind of person you are. And you make me want to start reading the Bible.
It's an amazing book for sure.
And Ronnie got baptized.
Yeah, he told me about that.
You're the only person in this world that can make that man do anything.
This is so macabre, this conversation. You make me start wanting to read the Bible. So now we're going to start pimping Jesus because our son has killed everybody in sight. And because he's murdered his wife and children, now I want to start reading the Bible. You're acting like he is the chosen one that walked on water. And he's been crucified unjustly. So now I need to go take up with Jesus' word and teachings, because my son, the chosen one, is locked up unjustly. Are you all hearing this? You make me want to start reading the Bible. Only you can make him do anything. Who are you speaking of? Your husband? So you're just about as sick as the husband then. You all are idolizing, praising this thing, this vessel, this dirty machine that is snuffed out for people. And you're sitting in this jail talking to him as if he's done nothing. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. This is bad.
Everybody wanted him baptized for a long time. Mama, remember Mama tried to get him to get baptized? Wouldn't do it because I'll just like with the smoking. I'll do it one day. I'm working on it. But you're the only one that could ever get it done. Yes. Everybody will be there when it comes. Everybody. So don't feel like you're ever alone.
Just been trying to adjust wherever I go.
You do. I know it's hard. I know it's so hard. But don't you dare give up.
Oh.
Don't. Because you mean too much to us. So much to us.
Well, you guys mean the world to me too, trust me.
I love you, Chris.
I love you too.
It's got 30 something seconds. I don't think me and you've talked this long in a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's all I ever wanted.
I know.
You should have talked to him before he killed his wife.
Well, I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Maybe she should have talked to him before he killed his wife, told him to leave his wife. They'd be alive. Conversations just ended. He's now with a blonde-haired lady.
Hey.
Hey.
You look good.
You look good too.
I like your hair.
Well, thanks.
Let me see that gray.
It's still there.
Jamie Lynn Watts
Wait,
is speaking with
How was
him.
the birthday?
It was really good. I got my face smashed in some cake.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Aaron got me from behind and pushed my face into the cake, and then took a big wad of cake in her hand and smashed it in my face.
Nice.
So I had cake in my hair, in my face, everywhere.
Well, I was going to ask you to get it in your hair. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of horrible to try to get that.
Hey, Tracy.
We did. It was, and then I think she got Mom too.
Well,
Just being funny, yeah, she got Mom too. So
Well, that's good.
there was cake all over my kitchen floor. I had so much to clean up. It was a mess.
That's part of it. It's part of it. That's good.
Yeah.
You got
Can't
your
believe
Jeep.
it. I got my Jeep.
Yeah.
I'm no longer the soccer mom.
That was a cool Jeep though.
Yes, I love it. I can park it.
I know, it's just like, even when it snows, it'll be good.
Mm-hmm. You know me. I've already told Mom what I got her for Christmas. I can't keep nothing.
I know, right? You gonna be able to keep that away from Dylan and Dalton though?
I'm going to do my best because they've got some other stuff coming. And Dalton thinks, he's like, now, y'all can get me this big thing and Santa can get me this big thing. I'm thinking he's 10, and it's about time for him to find out that, you know, mommy and daddy are kind of Santa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just gotta make sure Dylan's ready for that
He's
too.
expecting a lot. And he really thinks it.
Like, what's he want now? Like an actual, like a physical car?
Oh, he told us the other day he wanted his first car to be a Lamborghini, and we were like, what? A Lamborghini? When he turned 16. Yeah, we were like, no.
I hear you, Alf.
You're gonna get your daddy to use a truck.
Yeah, like that's insane.
Yeah.
Good question, Mary.
I know Mom and Dad told you about the memorial stuff that we did, and did they tell you about the hawk that flew over?
Yeah, Mom said that there was like it after I think she said that Monica.
We know that in time, people will become comfortable when people are incarcerated, no matter what the crime is that they have been accused of or whether they confessed or not. People will talk about mundane things, what Aunt Susie did, what Dad did, blah, blah, blah. But under the circumstances of knowing that a person has murdered their family, it still seems macabre to talk about other things such as snow blowers and eagles flying overhead. It just seems odd, but it happens. People dance around the subject, the elephant in the room, and talk about everything else besides, why did you kill that woman and those kids? When did you know you were going to kill her? Why did you do this? Why didn't you just leave her? You could have a full life. Why did you do this? Why did you do this to us? Do you know what it's like living and walking around knowing that you killed these people? We're related to you. You don't hear none of that in any of the conversations so far. Nobody has said, hey, this is tough on us. It's hard for us to live in the town we live in. It's hard for us to go to church or go to work. You don't hear none of that. Just, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm going to stick with you. We're going to support you. We don't care what you did. I don't care what you did. Like a mad person. And some of you are right. Her affection for her son is ill and borderline sadistic. Because one would have to wonder what else is going on in his family, because this is ill. And I can't believe none of you are asking him, why did you do this? You don't hear the sister say, are you telling the truth? Are you sure you didn't kill the girls? Nothing. Talking about everything but the death of this woman and her children.
Monica was saying that Cece was playing with the CD player.
Yeah. Every time, and there was a brand new CD player, right?
Yeah.
Brand new. And every time Jennifer went to sing, like it would start skipping. And Monica was like, that is Cece messing with that CD player. And then I think it was during the song that hawk, it just flew over so close. And Robert got my attention. And the hawk looked down on us. It was a pretty amazing little sight.
That's awesome.
And I got 3 awesome pictures of one.
He tells her that's awesome. He's the reason that they're having services for dead people. And he says that's awesome. I just want you all to hear what this commentary is. This is a jailhouse recording separated by glass. She's describing the services, how the CD skipped, the CD player is brand new, but yet they're not reading between the lines of why the CD player actually skipped. The universe was saying, this ain't right. This ain't right what y'all doing. You can mourn the children, but this ain't right here. And as far as the eagle flying over, I'll just say it's a damn bird. And he's listening and responding as a sociopath would, pretending to have some type of interest in the conversation when he knows he's the reason for the season. Stay woke. He's the reason for the season. He killed these people, and now they're dancing around the subject of CD players skipping and birds flying overhead. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Thank you for joining me. This is Crime Vault, extension of Everyday Shenanigans. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $Big Angie. 129 Cash App. All super chat stickers are welcome during this live. Thank you.
That's awesome.
And I got 3 awesome pictures. One day I can share them with you. But I took a picture of each, site, and there's a ray of light that's coming through on each picture. It's really beautiful. Really beautiful.
That's awesome.
So,
It helps me picture it, that's for sure.
well, picture it beautiful because it's very beautiful.
That's awesome.
And it's okay. It's all gonna be okay. And we are a strong family, okay? And
Okay.
I love you so much.
Me too.
And you're gonna get so many letters from me. You're like, God, doesn't he work?
I'm not sure how it'll be like wherever else I go, but like I know in here it takes like almost like 9 days for them to process a letter, so it takes a little while.
well, you're gonna get so many from me. You're
9 days.
gonna be like, oh, she's saying the same old stuff. Maybe I don't know how this works, but hopefully I can send pictures and stuff like that. I don't know how it works. I guess I'll find out, but.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how it'll work once. I know I can get wherever I go from here. I'm sure I can have a few pictures. I'm not sure how many, but like they'll tell me.
Yeah.
9 days to process a letter. Now imagine they're in North Carolina. He's in Colorado at that time. Long way for mail to get there. Then it takes 9 days to process everything naturally because somebody has to go through all the mail in the mail room for each inmate. What pictures are you going to send him? I'll wait. Chris Watts, why would you even want any pictures? Of whom? Your family? Your mom and sisters? Because you can't be talking about the children. Because you killed them, remember? But you lied and said you didn't. So you must be talking about having pictures of your mom and dad and your other immediate family. Don't you see how macabre this is? Everybody's talking in circles. What do they talk about in private? Did he do it? Oh, I don't think so. Somebody else had to do it. It was the Illuminati. He's brainwashed. Okay, but still you can't explain how they're buried where he worked. You want somebody to believe a stranger did that. You're gonna talk around it for how many years? And all you all get together and have holiday functions, go to each other's houses. You have to be looking at each other wondering, how in the world did you spawn this demon? And we can't blame people's parents for everything their children do because that's unfair. But listening to the mother speak in this conversation, listening to the sister speak, listening to the mother speak to Channel News 9, she's oblivious to what Chris Watts has done. And she and all of them are aiding him in the foolishness and the fuckery of killing Cheyenne and those girls. And remember, it is said his mother and sister never felt Cheyenne was ever good enough. And I'm wondering, is this the sister that he was speaking of? This is, yes, indeed, disrespectful to the decedents. Because in the end, the children didn't sign up for this mess. Whatever was going on between him and Cheyenne, the children should have no involvement. And still it would be wrong to kill the wife because all he had to do was just leave her.
Well, I'm gonna definitely keep you updated
Oh, thank you.
on everything. I'll bore you to death.
Just hearing your voice is good for me.
Well, it's good for us too.
Yeah.
Mary doesn't feel anything. It wouldn't
We have
matter.
wanted to talk to you and see you for months now, and we, like I said, it's the grace of God that we're here and we're able to see you, and Dad got baptized, if you can believe that. I mean,
I didn't expect it to happen that fast. And I was like, wow, he's getting baptized already.
yeah,
That's
Mom,
awesome.
Mama, she wanted him to get baptized forever.
Yeah.
And at the church that we've been going to, you don't have to take any classes. It's just come as you are.
Yeah.
As long as you accept Jesus, then that's all you need to get baptized.
Yeah.
Are y'all hearing this? Now they're talking about Jesus and God and baptisms. This is bad. This
The
is
kids are
morbid.
baptized now.
This is very morbid.
They got baptized before that, though, right? I think so, yeah.
Yep. Like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe.
Okay.
So what made the father get baptized? He decided to
It's a good thing to happen.
accept Jesus into his life as a savior.
Yeah.
Too bad Chris Watson didn't accept
Yeah.
Jesus as a savior.
And you look good.
You
You
too.
actually look a little bit younger.
What's that?
I said you actually look a little bit younger.
That's because I shaved most of this off, and now I was gonna shave it off today, but I was like, no, I'll just wait till after stuff tomorrow. But I was just like, once they shaved it off, I was like, well, I actually got younger a few 2 years.
It looks really good.
Like an old man before. I was like, wow, I think that's crazy.
Are you nervous about everything? Are you
It's just
nervous
like-
to be holding up?
The unknown and everything.
And that's life in general.
Yeah.
None of us know what tomorrow is.
Exactly.
So it can always change. So, but our love for you will never change.
Thank you. It means a lot to hear everybody say that.
We mean it. We really mean it. So that's what love is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Unconditional.
I really wish I could go back to Mom's porch
I know, me
and
too.
just keep you. I really wish I could just go back there and keep you.
Me too, trust me.
I feel like God gave us that day.
You did.
And we just love you.
I love you too.
Goodness. Well, I guess wherever you end up at least we'll get to see you face to face next time.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure how long that'll take, but yeah, it'll be good to see everybody face to face next time.
Somebody in the chat is mentioning dysfunction, how he could not ever change. He's too far gone at this point. The fact that he stole the lives, he's already gone. When he decided to kill them, before even doing it, he was gone. He'd already checked out of this universe. And it's amazing to me to hear these people talking to him as if he has not murdered a family. The talking and talking and talking in circles, but yet you act like you don't know what he's done and you've accepted it and talking around it. That is very troublesome and bizarre, and it is disrespectful to the dead because they didn't deserve that. And it's nothing wrong with loving someone in their faults, because people are going to love people despite the things they've done and said to others and to them. But we're talking about murder, cold-blooded, premeditated murder. That is different. How can you continue to rally behind someone and visit and talk about their haircut and how young they look? And he replies, yeah, I was getting gray, and oh, it's crazy, as if you're not in there for murdering 4 people. You're talking to him as if he has not murdered 4 people. You're supporting him still, and he's murdered 4 people. He has no remorse, and you don't seem to care that he snuffed out an extension of your family, your own nieces, your own sister-in-law. He is in penitentiary for those reasons alone, and you are talking as if he's just away at hideaway camp, and he'll be out in a week or 2, and you all can go back to kissy huggy and live your lives, when we know he's never coming out of there. You can't make nobody understand this. Love. What is love? He can't love you because he doesn't know what love is. And I think you all know this. So we have to also question who you all are as people and a family to continue to support this madman, because indeed he's a madman. He is diabolical. So you're talking about sending him money for commissary, sending him pictures, letters, visiting when you can, and he snuffed out your damn family. Okay.
Yeah. He does. What kind of stuff do you get to buy?
Oh, as far as
At
like
the commissary,
as food and stuff, it's like they give you a lot of candy options for sure. I was like, well, let me try to stay away from that. But like around Halloween, I did get some what's it called, some Oreos and like Reese's Pieces and stuff like that. Just like they had that on there, they didn't have it before, and I was like, oh well, I'm definitely gonna at least get that because that's stuff that I love beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Well, Chris, it wouldn't matter about you eating those damn Reese's Pieces and Oreos. You don't have to look good for anybody anymore unless you're worried about keeping up your figure for a guy, a male inmate, because there'll be no more snooky ookie for you. So you eat all the Reese's Cups, Hostess cakes, and return back to the little fat boy you were, because you're not coming out of there. I said that.
And like some like drink mixes and like hygiene products, which I definitely got some like, cause they didn't really give me much like, they just had like that pump soap you get.
Yeah.
So it was like I got some like actual real soap and real shampoo and like some lotion and stuff. I was like, kind of make me feel a little more human.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow,
Make him feel like
you don't
a
have
human.
it, like for such a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh wait, I got this back. It's great.
Yeah.
He's oblivious to what he's done.
Any like other books down, or is there a library? Or
they have like a book cart. Like a book cart that comes around every 2 weeks.
Where is he, Candy? He's somewhere else?
And it's you just kind of get to pick it up on the book cart, and I've been picking like religious books just to kind of, since I read the whole Bible, I was just like, well, let me see what other like.
He read the whole Bible. What are you reading the Bible for, Chris? Now that wouldn't be nice of me to say, unchristian, since I do believe in God, and that he sent his son here to die for my sins, and we're all tainted and flawed and jacked up. Yes, we are. But I still say what you did is heinous and nowhere near sticking your hand in a cookie jar stealing cookies. It's not the same. But in the eyes of God, sin is sin. But to sit here and say I read the whole Bible, done that, guess I'm looking for something else to read. So besides reading the Bible, maybe you should read some self-help books on narcissism, and sociopathic, psychopathic behavior, and how you came to be this selfish being that thought snuffing out a family would solve your problems to go on and bed another woman and live happily ever after. So you thought. So you were selfish. You're a selfish creature, because snuffing those people out was selfish. You didn't want to stand a tone for what you did, the family you built. You didn't want to no longer pay for them, because common sense would tell anybody he wanted to clean out. He didn't want to be responsible any longer financially, because a family is a financial burden. Everybody knows this. And some people can say, well, it shouldn't be a burden. He chose that. But come on, let's keep it real. It was a burden. Because the children made no sense to murder them if your issues were with the wife originally. You killed the kids because they were dead weight as well. They were an extension of Cheyenne. And no matter who made more money, you still were going to have to pay a due bill for those babies. And you didn't want to pay. You didn't want to be obligated. You wanted a clean, fresh start, as someone said in a commentary yesterday. Chris Watts wanted a do-over. And that meant no wife, no kids, no financial obligations. Whatever debt I accrued, I pay it off, but I'm paying it alone with a new girl on my side. But who the hell wants to be with you while you're paying off a debt for your old wife? Because at some point, that little demon inside was going to seep his way back out had you gotten away with this. And poor Nicole would have had to find out the hard way who Chris Watts really is. Thank you for joining me.
Like leaders say and whatnot. So it's kind of good to read that.
When you write me, you can explain some of the Bible to me, because when I read it, like, I don't understand it. So
there's a couple of books in the Bible that are just like, I think it's the Numbers section.
mm-hmm.
It's like genealogy, and it's kind of like, a lot of people say you just kind of skip that entire book, because it's just like, it just kind of goes, David begat such and such begat. I mean, just like all names.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like I am never going to retain all these names. I cannot even pronounce some of these names. And some of them are the same name. But I'm just like, okay, like, so I kind of glanced over that section because it was basically just names, but like a lot of it I read a few times over before I turned the pages, so I could kind of absorb what it said, because there's a lot of things like, there's like a whole paragraph in the Bible that's said in some of those, because there's so many semicolons and commas. I'm just like, wait a minute, is that a whole sentence?
Do you understand it?
Yeah, like I understand.
I have a hard time.
Yeah, like, because once I read it, like I've gone back and read a few of the books again, just to like kind of absorb some of the favorite books. There's some of the sections that are insanely long. Like I think Isaiah is insanely long, and Ezekiel is insanely long. But like there's a couple, like once you get to like the New Testament and stuff, like each person that says the story just says it in a different way.
When you write me, you explain some of this to me, because I have a hard time. Like when I read it, I have to reread it, and then I'm still not really sure where they were going with that.
Yeah.
So what we have to ask ourselves, are these Christian people, were they devout Christians going to church? Did they raise their children in the church originally, or everybody fell off as children got older? Who are these people as far as Christianity? Did they come to Jesus late in life? We heard the father had just got baptized a few years ago, however long it was while he was incarcerated. So did they raise their children in the church? Did they believe that Jesus died for their sins? Or are these latecomers? And why was he reading the Bible? Because if you are still on the same path you were on before killing your family, you have no remorse, no empathy, reading the Bible was a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You're not trying to suck up the information. You're not trying to soak it up. You're not trying to adhere to what the Bible says. And what is the purpose in reading it? Because that is the purpose of reading it, is to get something out of it. It's not to say that you're going to remain perfect, because you are born in sin. And it's not to say that God hasn't forgiven Chris Watts. Let's go there. God forgives the sinner if he or she repents. So we have to ask ourselves, did he come to Jesus and repent for killing his wife and children? And until he can own the truth to everyone, there's no way he could be in good standing with God, because he hasn't owned that he's killed all of them. So he has to tell the truth in order to be in good standing with the Lord. And I believe he knows this. So has he repented to God for killing his family? Has God forgiven him? Who knows? And at the end of his life, will he go to heaven or hell? We'll never know, but some will probably wonder. Will he be able to go into pearly gates after snuffing out his family? Because listening to this conversation, this is a while ago, I don't know. I have no idea. And it's not to say that he can't one day become remorseful. I hope for his sake and his salvation that he does. Because the other side of the coin is rather hot. And I don't think he'd like going down there. because nobody wants to go down there. So for his sake, he needs to repent and ask God to forgive him for killing his family and take ownership for killing them. And he needs to apologize to everybody. Getting involved with that woman, killing his family, lying to himself and lying to his family. And they need to check themselves as well. Thank you for joining me.
You can help me with that.
Okay, I'll do that for sure.
So,
I'll do that for sure. How did the kids like Halloween?
yeah, they did. You know me, I'm already over Halloween and Christmas trees up. Can't.
It was like, I think since I got to watch the TV here the last 2 weeks or so, like it was just crazy how it went from like a Halloween commercial to literally like instant Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, November 1st, Christmas. I was just like, oh my God.
You know me.
No, I know.
How do they talk to their children, his sisters? What do they say to their children about why their uncle is incarcerated? How do you explain to a child why their uncle snuffed out his own wife and children, their cousins? How do you explain that to a child? See, this goes deeper than just the murder of Cheyenne and the children. Each person that continues to deal with him has to own their part in dealing with him and their extensions, which are their children, friends, associates. And yes, people are going to question, why are you aiding him? Why are you still talking to him? Why are you still supporting him? How can you still love a murderer, plural? People are going to ask. It's just what people do. But in this life, how can you explain these deeds to a child? That's your uncle. He was really a good guy. Nobody ever had anything bad to say about him. They weigh on that heavily. Nobody had anything bad to say about him. You hear that a lot about people who pop off. He just popped. Just went crazy. She just went crazy. It's not saying that you can't be pushed to homicide. But you got to check yourself so you don't pop off. And he could have left and had a full life with or without Nicole, whomever. Single, scot-free. He could have moved on. Hello, darling. He made his choice. And it's hard to believe in 6 weeks he decided to kill his wife and children, because that is a short time to get to know somebody in a relationship. And if his family didn't know him, if his wife and children didn't know him, the neighbor co-workers didn't know him, boss didn't know him, and how in the hell would this Nicole lady know him in 6 weeks? I want you to think about that. It is alleged that that was the pop-off duration when he decided to take this family down. So if they didn't know him in the years that they've known him, how in the hell she would have known him in 6 weeks? Something to ponder on. We're going to try to see if there's more commentary of other people visiting him in the jail, and then I will check out of here. And I want to thank you all so much for following the content of Crime Vault. It's an extension. We're going to now go to the father talking to him, and then I'm going to end this this farce, because this is a farce of what I'm playing here. This is a very depressing situation.
Like FaceTime or something?
Yeah, it is. Well,
No, I beat this way.
We love you very, very much.
Trying to get the father up next. Thank you for joining me.
Never gonna change. Okay?
Okay.
Don't get that on me.
I'm not.
Looks like we got like 28 seconds left.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to
All
hold it
audio
back with me.
is on my community post if you want to verify all said
So
information.
that
Thank you.
one day we'll all get to see each other in person,
Yeah.
you know, and you're gonna be okay.
No, well.
You will.
You will never see him again, honey, except through that glass
And I'm gonna
or in a date
give the
room.
kids your love.
All right.
And
I love you.
I love you. I love you.
That's Jamie, the sister. Now it's the father.
Well, look at you.
Oh, okay.
Hey, well, look at you. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. You look good.
Thanks, you do too. I like your jacket.
You like that jacket?
And there's a lady standing behind him, a dark-haired lady. She looks like she's Indian or something, descent. She's smiling. I don't know who she is, but she's standing behind the father in the room where he's talking to him on the phone. Very weird situation.
I thought you might recognize that thing. This is a good weather to be wearing it up here for sure.
Oh yeah, I know it's gotta be pretty cold out there.
Yeah, it is. It ain't too bad right now. It's just a little breezy. In the probably high 40s, whatever. Anyway, we're just here to tell you how much we love you. And we'll always be here for you, no matter what.
So now the father's aiding as well.
And just remember that.
Love you guys too.
That's out my mind. And I got baptized yesterday.
And they told me you were doing that. That's awesome.
And I did get baptized.
Thank you for doing that. That's awesome.
And the water was warm. It was good. As Moses said, I had a little chest cold the day before that. So Moses, you sure you doing this? I'm doing that. So no matter what.
Very, very ill.
No matter what.
And I remember how cold if it was cold or warm water when I got baptized, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was wet.
Yeah,
I was the only one to get baptized at a new church that Jamie and them go to. The kids like going there because they got a bunch of kid activities and stuff. I was the only one to get baptized. The place was full too.
Oh wow!
They got some good pictures of it. We'll show it to you.
That's awesome.
You look good.
Well, thank you. You do too.
Yeah. Got that little shave down there.
Oh yeah, I had them just shave it all off just to get it all off so I could actually keep up with the razor now.
That's good. I already got a little sports person to talk to.
Oh yeah, everybody here loves sports. It's pretty cool.
And like Amy likes sports too, don't she?
Oh yeah, everybody does. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the Panthers are doing good, so is the Steelers, so that's a good thing.
And they play each other on Thursday.
Do you hear this conversation? Everybody here likes sports. Well, they don't really have a choice now, do they? Because there are men in there. Most men like sports, but you're in prison, jail, it's all the same. But he's talking as if he's somewhere else besides incarceration. They all like sports in here. And everybody's skinning and grinning. Everybody thinks he looks good. He looks younger. He shaved his hair, shaved his beard off, blah, blah, blah. He was getting gray. Yeah, we've heard about people who get locked up. They tend to gray a little faster than when they're outside free. Why is that, I wonder? Now, the father, skinning and grinning as well. Just want to tell you, we love you. I must admit, he's got some dedicated family members. Dedicated indeed. All at the expense of Cheyenne and 3 children.
And they play each other on Thursday.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a good one. And which one are you pulling for?
I don't really even know, honestly. I think it's going to be a toss-up just to see it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it would. Hopefully get to see part of it anyway. And the Panthers have been going off here lately, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, with McCaffrey, he's been doing really good.
Yeah, he is. And I heard you helping somebody out with the fantasy football league.
I tried to if she ever doesn't set it. Oh, she'll listen to me. It's just a matter of she sets her team before she talks to me.
Oh, okay. Then doesn't do much good if she don't do it before that.
Yeah, all right.
I like that smile. I love to see you smile more.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen very much, but it's good to do it.
Just remember, we always love you, always will. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Love you too.
We'll always be here for you, no matter what.
Thank you.
And we'll be here as much as we can. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll see you.
Love to see you.
I like the glasses. Put my glasses on so I can see you better.
Yeah. Put my glasses on so I can see.
Oh, there you go. I can see you better now. There you go.
Yeah.
And you got a little haircut too, the other day.
Nice.
But move over a little bit to your right.
To my right?
Yeah.
Might be this way here.
Other way. There you go. Now we see you good.
Okay.
Yeah, now we see you good. Now we see you good.
It's like FaceTime or something.
Yeah, it is. Bet it is. Oh, you look good, son.
How's your flight?
It's kind of interesting. We supposed to left Tammy's house at 7 o'clock, which that didn't quite happen because Dalton Dental was feeling that feel good. So Jamie had to talk to her for a little bit. We got a few minutes late start, and then we got about 15, 20 miles from the airport. They said the next 12 miles will take you 24 minutes. So we got to the airport just in time. We was the last 3 people to get on the plane. It was one of them things, last minute things. Oh Lord, we're gonna think about it. We're gonna miss the flight. We're gonna miss the flight. I said, calm down. I will get you there. Don't worry. I will get you there. Lord have mercy. Oh, it's good to see you.
It's good to see any snow.
No, I haven't seen no snow because we ain't been over towards the mountains yet. I can see a little bit coming in. There's some snow up there in the mountains.
Okay.
Nothing yet.
You might see some before you guys leave on Wednesday. I think they might have a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, they might have a little stuff coming around. You never know. You never know. You look good, boy.
Thank you. It's tough, but
You hear that? You look good, boy. Very southern drawl. You look good, boy. And he's telling him, yeah, it's very difficult. It's difficult because you put yourself in that situation, Chris Watts. You could be out here free doing whatever you like to do, minus a wife. But see, that was the whole point of the story. He didn't want to be married any longer, and nor did he want to be a father. And his stupid ass family needs to own he killed all of them, and he checked out of the relationship with the wife and the children. He wanted out completely. And he did so. And now he's paying the reaper for his decision to do so. There's one thing to want to kill your spouse, your mate, but to take your children down as well, there are no words. And to sit here and skin and grin, which we know people do it all the time out of nervousness, trying to find something to talk about besides the elephant in the room of murder. They talk about everything else, but it's sickening to some degree because he did kill these people that he allegedly loved. He took the coward's way out, and he took his children in tow, and they didn't deserve this. And Cheyenne didn't either. No matter what you think of her, what you think you knew of her, this is cruel. What they got was cruel and unusual punishment. And we don't have to go over how they died, but it was indeed cruel. And they didn't sign up for that.
But it's just good to see you. It's good to see you. And hear your voice is the main thing.
yeah.
That's a good thing. Lord have mercy. Just take a deep breath. Everything's going to be all right.
I know. I keep hope.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
I keep hope.
Just keep on going.
Lord have mercy.
I guess I need a little bit up in the camera, looking down with it.
No, I can see you. It's cool. I just want to make sure my face is still in there.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. I like this jacket. It's nice and warm.
Yeah.
He might have said, I said, nope, that was mine.
Yeah.
And the Pop said the other day, I said, Poppy, you're a Steelers fan, are you? I said, it's like a Christmas. I said, and stuff pulled the Steelers in here for both.
Yeah, just can't wait to every 4 years when they play each other.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they play each other Thursday night, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're playing in Pittsburgh too, I think.
Yeah, they are.
They're Pittsburgh, yeah. Watch it be snowing up there, so.
I'm going to stop it here because I don't want to go much winded because I'm already 2 hours in. I want to thank you all for following this content pertaining to Chris Watts. This is installment number 3 of my Crime Vault series, where I bring you true crime that happened moons ago and there was a resolution. This commentary, you hear his mother in an interview talking about how disillusioned she basically is of his guilt. Didn't think he did it. Don't possibly. I don't know where they stand as far as his guilt now, innocence or guilt. I think they know deep down inside he killed all of them. They just wanted him to say he killed all of them, but he's never going to tell you that. And the fact he says it during this conversation with the mother, not now. Well, when would be the right time to tell her the whole truth? Everybody's talking, giddy, laughing, talking around the subject of murder, of his family, talking about radios and new CD players that was skipping. As I said, that was the devil dancing then. Because you all didn't have any business doing no ceremony knowing your damn son is the one that killed the damn kids. It's macabre. No matter how you look at it, it's macabre. Very, very macabre. North Carolina. How do you stand around with your friends and family showing pictures of dead children that your son killed and you still support it? It's weird. It's baffling. It's confusing. It's disrespectful. It's everything negative that you can come up with because you all are still supporting him. It's years later now, but 9 times out of 10, you all still support him. Some of you probably don't even think he's the one that killed all of them. It's macabre. Sorry, it is. And yes, you're entitled to love who you want, support who you want, but you can't make other people ride the ride. And he didn't have any business killing that lady and those kids. You should have checked out. And like I said, all of you all knew Chris Watts way before Nicole ever came into the picture. So if you didn't know him, there's no way in hell she knew him in 6 weeks. And I'm going to keep saying that. Because we now know that nobody knew Chris Watts. But I have a funky feeling. His parents saw signs that he was not right. It was more than him being socially awkward as a child and young adult. That there was something very wrong with him and off. And I believe at some point he's made commentary to allude to that effect. Because there's always somebody that could tell the story. And is there somebody else out there that could give us a side of Chris Watts that nobody knows about? Some weird, odd conversations spoken in private that's never been repeated. Because what we have heard of most mass shooters, serial killers, they were quiet, socially awkward. Didn't have a lot of friends, didn't hang with a lot of people, indulged in torturing animals, other people, porn, peeping through windows, sadistic behavior. And maybe one day we'll find out that he also had sadistic behavior. But he never got in trouble. He never broke the law. He didn't end up in juvenile facilities, juvenile court. But who's to say what his thought process was? Because people don't always tell you what they actually think, what bothers them, what turns them on, what's odd, sadistic that turns them on. And just the giddiness in these conversations is very disturbing. But I understand people are not going to just talk about death every time they visit someone. I get it. But to an outsider looking in, we can't get past that because we don't know Chris Watts. He's not our family. He's not our friend. So that's all we have to focus on are the deaths of Cheyenne and the girls. And obviously they can look around their deaths and hold a conversation with him about what they did yesterday, being baptized, record players skipping, eagles flying overhead during the services. They can talk about those things. But most of us could not because we can't get past the deaths of the wife and the children. I want to thank you all for following the content. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And once again, if you'd like to donate to this Dream of Everyday Shenanigans, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Yes, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. I got a little disoriented there. Thank you all so much for following me, listening to this. I will bring you another disturbing story for Crime Vault pertaining to an African-American woman that stole a baby out of a hospital in Florida and took the baby back to South Carolina to raise her as her own. Another very baffling story where this woman still doesn't take any remorse, any accountability rather, for stealing the baby. I'll play you that content here later, or at least by tomorrow. because it's a lot of information for me to gather and I have to decide what I want to play because it's very winded, the court testimony. But nonetheless, it's just another baffling story of a woman who people thought was a nice lady. Don't have anything bad to say about her per se. Same thing as this mess with Chris Watts. But yet she did something heinous, such as steal a child out of a hospital. But in the end, as the biological father says in commentary that I will play for you, I've never met a nice kidnapper. Exactly. Because everything's an illusion, a perception. What I see, you don't see. What I hear, you don't hear. And as he said, there's no such thing as a nice kidnapper. She stole a whole child and has no remorse. And wanted to appeal 18-year sentence. How do you feel it's right for you to walk free when you walk free for 18 years with a stolen baby? And yet you tell a judge, I deserve freedom. But you were free until you got caught. You see, that's the mind of somebody who's checked out and decided, I'm going to do what I want to do because I can. Same thing with Chris Watts and every other true crime. Suspects. I did it because I could. I didn't need your permission. Doesn't matter the reasoning. I did it because I could. I'm selfish. I'm self-absorbed. I'm arrogant. So it doesn't matter that I was depressed, this and that, bipolar, dissociative personality. In the end, these people knew right from wrong. Eat, sleep, drink, be merry. There's nothing wrong with you. And I'm going to bring you that commentary later. Prayers for Cheyenne's family. And prayers for anyone in a toxic relationship that's not going well. I don't recommend you walking around thinking someone's going to hurt you or kill you, but you have to know that there are ill people out here who will contemplate your death. And that is a sad thing to ever have to say to another human being. Hey, be careful. He might kill you. She might kill you and your children. Who the hell wants to think that? Because they're having problems with their mate. But now we see it happens all the time. So do we want to give advice to tell people to hold on to the relationship? Because you just might end up dead, even though he or she is not abusive, physically abusive. Because you don't know people. And sadly and horrifically, Cheyenne and her children lost their lives because they did not know Chris Watts. And by the time she put it together in that short 6-week window, it was too late. He was already gone, checked out of the relationship, checked out being a father. And they had no idea. I want to thank you all for joining me. This is Crime Vault. You all have a wonderful evening.